Hello, I'm Kim McGrigg, Community Manager for the nonprofit Money Management International. Imposters are waiting for the opportunity to use your name, social security number, and credit card number. In fact, identity theft is the fastest growing crime in America with more than 9 million victims each year. I'm here with identity theft victim Terry Spencer. Unfortunately, Terry knows firsthand just how difficult and time-consuming it can be to recover from identity theft. Terry, can you tell me how you felt when you first discovered that your personal information was misused?
I was really upset. I felt that it was a huge invasion of my privacy, my character, my life. It really surprised me just simply because I think that I'm one of those people that have gone through life with nothing bad happening to them. And this really shocked me. It just shocked me that someone had the nerve and the gall to steal my identity and to become me.
Fortunately, as soon as you discovered that someone had stolen your identity, you sprung into action. Can you tell me a little bit about what you did?
I did. It was a department store out of state that really notified me. Apparently everything happened over the weekend, and they gave me a call. In fact, I think it may have been on Sunday night, to ask me if I had been in their store and had bought about $5,000 worth of goods, and I said no, absolutely not. So what they advised me to do at that point, even though it was out of state, they advised me to fill out a police report. So I called up the police immediately. Immediately after I spoke to the police and filed a police report, I also got in touch with all the credit unions and put a stop on everything that I knew was out there.
The average identity theft victim spends 14 to 16 months clearing his or her good name. Can you talk a little bit about the process of doing just that? Were there a lot of letters and phone calls involved in that?
There were a lot of letters and phone calls. In fact, I have a file at home that's probably at least 3 to 5 inches thick of all the correspondence back and forth. And still to this day, this is something that probably happened, I'm going to say 5 to 6 years ago. Every now and then to this day, I will get mail for that person that opened up credit in my name, which I think is very interesting.
Victims of identity theft often face consequences because of damage to their credit report, and in rare cases, they sometimes are even accused of crimes they didn't commit. Have you experienced that at all, or have there been any lasting repercussions?
There was one department store. I mean, since I was on top of it fairly quickly after the event happened, there was still one department store that every time I did try to open credit up in that department store, and I probably gave it about 3 to 6 months to let everything settle and to let account numbers change and new account numbers to be opened and other accounts to be closed. But there was still this one store where I absolutely could not open a credit account because every time I tried to, I would give them my social security number. They would go back to it, they would find that it was related to identity theft, and even though I was there with my driver's license proving that yes, in fact, it was me, it still didn't work.
You were red flagged.
I was red flagged.
Awareness is an effective weapon against many forms of identity theft. Be aware of how information is stolen and what you can do to protect yours. Armed with the knowledge of how to take action can make identity thieves' jobs much more difficult. Following are a few things you can do to protect yourself from identity theft. First, shred confidential information. Often, identity theft occurs when a thief rummages through the trash to find confidential information. You can protect yourself by shredding any document that contains social security numbers, bank account numbers, or other confidential information. Also, protect your confidential information when using electronics. Identity thieves use sophisticated methods, such as fraudulent phone calls and text messages, to obtain your confidential information. Know who is calling you and don't provide information over the phone unless you've initiated the phone call. And never click on suspicious emails. Phishing scams have become increasingly popular, and emails often look legitimate. Don't click on links in emails. Instead, type the official URL in your browser's address bar. If something looks suspicious, assume that it probably is. Terry, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Since I did have my identity stolen, I am a lot more diligent, and I do check my credit report and my credit rating score on a much more frequent basis than I had in the past.
Good point, Terry. As thieves are becoming increasingly sophisticated, consumers must become more diligent. Order your free annual credit reports at annualcreditreport.com and scrutinize them to ensure that all of the accounts listed are yours. This is Kim McGregor with Money Management International.